Eileen and I are asking everyone to speak up for the children of Gaza. You and the children of Gaza don't deserve to live like this. You deserve to have everything that other children around the world have. I am so sorry that the world has failed the children of Gaza.
Well, you would be forgiven not to know who that was. That's Miss Rachel, often referred to as today's woke version of Mr. Rogers. She's a highly popular children's YouTube star who's known for pushing pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel talking points on our kids. And what do you know? She's joining Zohran Mamdani's inaugural committee when he is sworn in as New York City's mayor in just 2 days. One of many controversial Mamdani team members. The group's Stop Anti-Semitism reacting with a statement saying, quote, if Mamdani sought to reassure Jews that he would be a mayor for, quote, all New Yorkers, naming this rogues gallery to be advisors was not a good way to go about it. To react now, let's bring in Republican strategist Luke Paul and political commentator Stephanie Hamill. Great to see you. Stephanie, it really is worse than Miss Rachel. I mean, there are jihadists on his staff who were praising Hamas after the October 7th massacre of the innocents. That's how bad it is. But I understand you have a bone to pick with Miss Rachel herself. Go for it.
I definitely have a bone to pick with her, but first I'll start with the fact that this Miss Rachel Mamdani collab was not on my bingo card for 2025. With that being said, I do have 2 kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old, and we stopped watching Miss Rachel a long time ago after I realized that she was inserting the LGBTQ agenda into episodes. Oh, yeah, and then the more I looked into her, I realized how political she actually was, and she is definitely a leftist. And so if you look at the link between Mamdani and Miss Rachel, it is because of this pro-Palestinian activism, if you will. And the fact that she doesn't seem to care that much about the victims of October 7th. She doesn't talk about the struggles of the Israeli children. That concerns me.
Well, Luke, you know, the thing is, you have this weird mix of things in this whole Mamdani movement that's going on in New York City right now that just don't mix together. They don't mix nicely. You have LGBTQ community. You have jihadists who, of course, are historically deadly to the LGBTQ, et cetera, message. And then you have this mix of Marxism and jihadism. Isn't it all going to blow up at some point?
Well, when you lease the clown car, don't be surprised when there's clowns inside. That seems to be the type of inaugural committee that Mamdani is assembling here. And it is completely antithetical to a lot of the values, as you were just pointing out, of one another in that group. What I'm mainly concerned about right now is that this is where the energy of the Democrat Party is. This is not some outlier. I debated leftists over the last few months who said this is just a firework, he's giving off a lot of smoke and sound and noise, but he's going to fade away eventually. I think this is where the energy of the party is. So as goes New York, so goes the rest of the Democrat Party. People are going to try and start replicating this, and they're either going to fail miserably or they're going to gain some traction. So it's time for Democrats to start calling out the garbage in their own party. And if they are the ones who are silent, then they have no place to speak further down the line whenever this becomes the mainstream Democrat Party.
Well, and Stephanie, the bottom line is we want a mayor, whether it's New York or any city in the country, to know how to keep the streets clean, to know how to keep them safe, to know how to put out fires. He just hired, speaking, you mentioned DEI, he just hired a woman to be the fire chief who has never been a firefighter because she was on the right part of the LGBTQ thing.
That's right, David. Again, this is really concerning for so many people in New York City, right? They want the person who's best for the job, not somebody who is potentially a DEI hire. And the reason why some people are questioning her qualifications is because the first thing we learned about her is that she's openly gay. Nobody cares about her sexuality or her preferences.
The fire doesn't care about that.
Yeah, that's right. People care about her qualifications and is she the right person for the job? Nobody who is in a situation where there's fire danger is worried about people's pronouns or anything else.
Then you have, Luke, the situation with the police themselves. I mean, that's the most important part of keeping New Yorkers safe. He's a cop hater. He wrote about it time and time again years ago. He says he's changed his mind. But you ask cops have long memories. I know a lot of cops, particularly in New York. They don't forget. And I'm just wondering if there are going to be enough of them staying around to keep us all safe.
He changed his mind because he saw some polls that said that mentality didn't play very well amongst voters. So what it really means is he changed just for a couple of months in order to squeak past the election day. If we're talking about fire chiefs and figuring out if they're non-binary or not, I don't care. I just want to know if you can use handcuffs. I don't care if we have a queer firefighter chief. Can you use a hose? There are practicalities that need to come into play and not DEI politics, because that's where people are saying people could legitimately lose their lives if we're just finding somebody who has enough letters from the alphabet in front of their name or behind their name to check the box amongst the radical progressive left and not true qualifications, then lives could really be in danger.
Absolutely. Finally, let's get to this. It seems everyone had a great Christmas other than late night Trump hater Jimmy Kimmel, delivering this alternative Christmas message to the folks in the UK. Listen.
And I can tell you that from a fascism perspective, this has been a really great year. Tyranny is booming over here.
Wow. Stephanie, what do you make of that?
It's just so absurd. You know, he just recently inked a deal with a new contract for another year. So tyranny's so bad that he's still getting paid millions of dollars, even though his show's ratings are horrible. You know, and also it's rather rich that he's talking about this to the UK when people are being sent to jail over social media posts that hurt people's feelings. So again, the irony is rich.
Luke, finally to you, just pick up on this. Are we going to see any change in the new year with regards to the way people get their entertainment and news?
The tens of people who tune into Jimmy Kimmel's show every night are probably going to be disappointed when ultimately the ratings prove that he's not going to be on television for too much longer.
Yeah, I think you're both right on that. And what a pleasure to see you both. Luke Ball, Stephanie Hamill, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.